weather, and live local coverage. This is News 10 at 11.
We are now an hour away from a deadline to extend a ceasefire in the war between Israel and Hamas. The Palestinian militant group released 16 hostages today, including an Israeli American. The truce has lasted 6 days, and negotiators are working right now to extend it further, but may not hit the midnight deadline. We'll have more on the negotiations in just a moment. Good evening. I'm David Andrews.
And I'm Ann Emmerich. Tonight, Secretary of State Pete Buttigieg came to Michigan State University, where he was greeted with pro-Palestinian protesters. Take a look.
Justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace.
The protesters were outside the Kellogg Center, where the secretary spoke during a public service forum tonight. They're calling on U.S. politicians for a ceasefire in Gaza. But those weren't the only protesters. News 10's Jordan Burrell was inside the Kellogg Center when another group of protesters disrupted Secretary Buttigieg's speech. And Jordan, it got scary there for a moment.
Yeah, and a separate group was also there protesting Buttigieg and how they say he's negatively impacted the environment. The Secretary of Transportation was trying to discuss his plans for the future, but that group disrupted his event tonight.
How do you look at your children?
Environmentalist protesters interrupted Secretary Pete Buttigieg's event at Michigan State University, ending in one protester being arrested.
Stop Petro Pete. Pete Buttigieg is approving new oil.
Despite being interrupted multiple times by protesters, Secretary Buttigieg looked to the future in his speech.
I've been thinking a lot about 2050.
The U.S. Secretary of Transportation was honored and invited to speak at the university Wednesday evening by former Michigan Governor Jim Blanchard. He highlighted the future of developments like
the development of artificial intelligence, the geostrategic and economic competition between the United States and China, the effect of what we for now call social media on our individual as well as collective psychology,
and how those things will change the world by 2050. While Secretary Buttigieg looked to the future, protesters outside called on him for action right now.
We are asking Joe Biden and all of those working for him and the cabinets for a ceasefire. That's what America's asking for. We're being our own American self, expressing our love for our democracy and listening to our people, and the people say ceasefire and we say ceasefire.
Michigan State University students protested peacefully outside of the event in the parking lot and outside the room's window. Despite being interrupted by another protester towards the end of the evening, Secretary Buttigieg says the protesters have every right to be there,
and an understanding of the importance of the freedom to have those ferocious disagreements on respectful terms. And by the way, respectful can also be noisy. Really. And that's okay.
Despite the chaos during and before the event, it did end peacefully. Now, the police did tell us the protesters inside the event were ticket buyers and that they had every right to be there. Live in the newsroom, I'm Jordan Burrell, News 10.
All right, Jordan, thank you. The latest